To create our first timesheet, we start by selecting the date. We then select the project on which we want to add the hours. We then choose the day. We will now enter the start time, the end time and the breaks that were taken during this shift. For our example, we started at 8 a.m. and finished at 11 a.m. During this shift, we took a 15 minutes break in the morning. After this 3 hours shift, we went to work on another construction site. So we will add a project and enter the hours for the rest of our day. We go back to the list of tasks and will add one for our other project. For this other project, we started at 11 a.m. and finished at 4:15 p.m. During this shift, we took 30 minutes for dinner and did not take our break in the afternoon. We must select Add 15 minutes if we want it to be added to the total. For Tuesday, we are going back to work at our first project. We will work a day of 9 hours. We take a break in the morning, 30 minutes for dinner, and we do not take our break in the afternoon. Since we had a 9-hour day, we will have 1 overtime hour. We will therefore indicate this by clicking in the overtime zone. You can also enter a comment about this shift. Here, we are going to indicate that there is an hour in overtime, which is not necessary since we have already entered it above. But we could have entered any other information. If we go back to the timesheet, we see that there is a total of 17 hours. We will reopen the sheet to add other tasks. If you are working on a task that is not part of existing projects, for example, for a service call, you can add it. You must click on the Other, Specify button further down the page. It works the same as for an existing project. We will now add 8 hours for Wednesday. You will notice that it is also possible to enter the hours manually, without having to enter the start and end time or breaks. You are not required to use the automatic calculation button at the top of the page. If your employer requires a more detailed version of your timesheet, it is possible to enter all the activities that were done during this 8 hours shift. For our example, we will enter 2 different activities, for a total of 8 hours. Once the week is over, for example, on Friday night, you will need to send your timesheet to your employer. If you do not send it at the end of the week, your timesheet will be saved, but your employer will not receive it. To send the timesheet, simply click on the Send button at the bottom of the page. You can then enter a comment that will be transmitted to your employer. Once you have sent your timesheet, you will not be able to edit it anymore. If you wish to make changes again, you will have to ask your employer to resend it back to you. It's now the end of our demonstration video. I hope you will enjoy using our app.